What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Scott Bracey. What is going on, dude?
Peter, how are you on the last day of July?
I'm
Football
doing really well
tonight, and let's get cooking, baby.
I was gonna say, for those football fans like us out there, yesterday was the last, or I guess you could say there will not be another week without football for the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
There will be football every week for the next 6 months plus. And we love that because that's what we do best. So, yeah, what is it? Chargers and
Lions.
Don't get too excited. You won't be seeing
anybody.
Herbert or any of the big names. But, hey, it's football. We'll see those team logos and all that stuff. And that's always fun. I don't care. I'll be watching. Who am I kidding? Who am I bullshitting?
Yeah,
what the fuck else are we watching on Thursday anyway?
I'll probably
right?
tune in myself. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not up to date with Love Island. So I think Chargers Lions backups sounds good. Hey, before we get started with our AFC North breakdown, I've heard, I guess this time of year when things are a little slower in the sports talk world, things come up and I just see them repeated. And this is one that I'm like, people just continue to get it wrong. And it's the GOAT discussion, like who's the greatest of all time, depending on the sport. And I'm not looking to argue. This is not about arguing who is the GOAT, say, of basketball or football or quarterbacks or baseball or whatever. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because many people, when they try to do these arguments, number one, you already got your guy or gal in your head of who you think is the GOAT. So you're
flexible.
You're unlikely to be flexible or rational. You're gonna bring up the points that make your case, and you don't think of anything else. And this happens all the time. You'll get people that are very nihilistic, and they'll just say, "Well, the championships." And I'm not trying to say championships don't matter, but I've kind of looked at this and I said there are three things that we should all look at when we want to make the argument for who's the greatest of any particular sport. And it could be boxing, it could be anything, it doesn't matter. Instead of just saying, well, this one had all the stats or this one had the championships. Robert Horry had a lot of championships. Robert Horry had 7 championships. You have more than Michael Jordan. Is he higher on the GOAT list than Michael Jordan? Of course not, right? And then you could say stats, because then you could put you'll get basketball arguments of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And it's like, well, sure, but he has fewer championships, number one. And then there's other things that we just look and we watch. We're like, no. So I broke it down to these three things. There's other sports that we see this in, right? We see like it's the GOAT discussion between Michael Jordan and LeBron. Maybe it's between, who do I have here? Like Brady, Montana. And then we throw names like Marino in there, but then we go, well, he doesn't have any championships. But then why is Marino even mentioned? Or a Charles Barkley, how does he get mentioned sometimes as like great players, right? So I came up with these three things that I think everyone should consider if you're going to really be honest and have a GOAT discussion. Number one, rings matter. All these sports that we do, golf, Tiger Woods, and Jack Nicklaus, right? Championships matter. Like wins matter. That certainly matters. And that's why we play. You know what I mean? And we'll be talking later about golf, and the FedEx Cup is coming up. Championships matter. So of course that matters, but that can't be where it stops. The other things that we'll bring up that I think we should consider, statistics, right? Like stats matter. You have to have the stats. That's why the Robert Horry's doesn't make the cut. Marino doesn't make the cut because he doesn't have the rings. Robert Horry doesn't make the cut because he doesn't have the stats. It's the same with like Bill Russell. You'll hear people say, well, Bill Russell had whatever it was, I think 11 or 9 or something like that. Right? And it's like, yeah, Bill Russell never even averaged 20 points a game. Not one time in his career did he. And for most of his career, most of those seasons, it was somewhere between 15 and 18 points a game. I'm sorry, but I just can't call a guy just because he's got 11 rings, and he was great. Make no mistake. Interestingly enough, they didn't even keep track of rebounds and block shots back then. I looked up the stats. Yeah. They don't need the 0.0. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, he probably averaged about 30 rebounds a game. But so that's why he gets taken out of the consideration, right? Wilt Chamberlain didn't. Yeah, right. And then the third thing, this is the hard one, but we all understand this one. even if we can't totally define it, we do it all the time. We call it the eye test. Like, what am I watching? I don't have to read stats. I don't have to count championships. I can just watch LeBron James play, and I can watch Michael Jordan play, and I know Michael Jordan's better. He's just better. Now, we've talked about this before, and it's something that just bugs the shit out of me. We do this all the time, whether it's politics or religion or sports or you name it. If I say one thing is better, people hear that the other thing sucks. Right. And it's just retarded, stuck thinking doing that, dude, because it's really not the case. Like, I do believe between championships, stats, and eye test that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. What if I couldn't have Michael Jordan on my team? Would I take LeBron James? Yeah, of course, right? Like, yeah, I'll take the second best. And maybe I don't even know if he's the second best. Maybe, and this is what I mean by the eye test. I might take Kobe. I might rather have Kobe over LeBron. And for me, it's an argument of which one do I think is more of a killer? Which one do I think is more of that assassin at the end of the game? That's the eye test. How do you quantify that? I don't know that you can. I just think when we're discussing these things, and they're fun discussions because there's no right answer, right? We bounce around different eras. When we talk Jack and Tiger, it's so fucking interesting. Do you know that Jack Nicklaus? So Tiger Woods had a higher percentage of winning majors. He entered 48 majors and he won 15 of them. Jack entered like 72 or 70 something and won 18 of them.
Yep.
But Jack had something like, I lost the number. So many, like 14, 15 other top 10s. Tiger only had like 4.
Yeah.
Like, so Jack was always
there
around the leaderboard in majors. When Tiger was, when he was winning, and then when he wasn't winning, he was kind of nowhere to be found. Well, nowhere to be found might be a little strong. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you quantify that? I don't know. And that's the fun. I just want us to be fair, because it is a fun discussion to have. Do you like Mickey Mantle? Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio? Well, you know, I don't know. Like, it's hard, but it's fun. But be fair. Take into consideration the championships. Take into consideration, you know, the stats. But then, what do you see? You know, that's where the guys like Dan Marino become really interesting, because outside of the championships, if you didn't count championships at all, is there anybody you'd rather have at quarterback than Dan Marino? Like, let's be honest. Like, if you put Dan Marino on the New England Patriots, do they win as many championships? I don't know, but I got a feeling they probably win a bunch. If you keep it in the same era, if Dan Marino was on the 49ers at the time, because that was Joe Montana's era, right? Do they win as many championships? I can make an argument that they win more. And I love Joe Montana. I have so much respect for Joe Montana. But why do we say that? Because of the stats and the eye test with Dan Marino. So when we consider all those things, we probably come up with a more rational answer, even though there really isn't one, especially when we're crossing eras. But let's just be fair. Let's and it's more fun to do it that way. Let's bring all those things into consideration when we're trying to figure out who the GOAT is in any given sport.
Well, that one came out of nowhere, but I like your argument there.
It was just something that has come up multiple times, either online or in sports TV, you know, ESPN. It came up on Fox. I'm like, it's that slow time of year when they just start bringing out all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, they start talking, you know, Johnny Manziel. Remember Johnny Manziel? Why are you even talking? But that's what comes, right? So this is
I heard that today too somewhere. Yeah.
Because and now why does that come up? Because the Browns have this interesting quarterback scenario going on, which I'm sure we'll get into right about now. AFC North.
AFC North. Let's start with the crappy Cleveland Browns. They are just
the Cleveland Manziels.
They continue to step on their dicks year in, year out. With a coach that's won Coach of the Year twice.
That's incredible. Who's probably going to get fired.
One of the best defenses in the league. Had one of the best offensive lines for a long time. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Right.
But the quarterback is what we talk about all the time, the most important position, and let's get into that.
Yes.
The Browns drafted, and by the way, they finished 4th last year in the division, and that's why I say crappy, because that happens more often than not.
Yep.
Picking in the top 5, traded back to number 5, and they got Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan.
Where were they picking originally?
2.
Right?
Traded up. Yep. In the second round, they take Quishon Junkins from Ohio State, and he's already in trouble with the law. How about that? The Browns
Those Buckeyes
again. Yeah,
can't trust those Buckeyes.
I'm glad you said it because I get called a homer here. But when it's true, pal. In the third round, they took tight end Harold Fannin from Bowling Green, a really underrated player, really good stats.
I was going to say, the numbers look good and the film looks good.
He's got a little – I'm not comparing him to Antonio Gates, who goes into the Hall of Fame this weekend. But he's got a small school kind of feel to it there.
Yeah, I like that.
In the fourth round – no, I'm sorry. Let's continue to stay in the third round. Later in the third round, they take quarterback from Oregon, Dylan Gabriel.
Right.
Who's a tiny fella, but his college numbers are pretty good.
At the time, what did you think of that pick?
I didn't love it.
Okay.
I
was surprised.
3 schools?
2 that I'm aware of. You may be right.
Central Florida, Oklahoma, and Oregon.
Okay. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. You're right. I forgot about the Central Florida stuff. Yeah.
In the fourth round, a guy I like, running back from Tennessee, Dylan Sampson.
Yes.
Kind of fell through the
earned
cracks.
his way. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And
stuck
then
around, worked hard, got there.
We have to bring it up. 5th round pick.
Fair.
The talk of the weekend back then in April was Shedeur Sanders from Colorado.
Still kind of is. Incredibly so.
It
gets no first team reps, but he still gets he still gets the ink in the magazine, man. It's unbelievable.
He's got a lot of Tim Tebow to him, the way he's covered.
Correct, because the reality is it's not about him as a player. It's the shine. You know what I mean? It's the aura around the name, the controversy, also the fact that most people thought he was maybe top 5, top 10 pick, and then drops outside to the 5th round.
Amazing.
So the story is there, and the story is better than the player. And we analyzed this multiple times, so that's just how it is.
They have more quarterback controversy as we get into this. They added Joe Flacco back from 2 years ago. He was on the team. They made a playoff run, I believe, with Joe Flacco at the helm.
Yeah.
They added Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. I say
one way to look at it.
I say that with a little kidding and a little seriousness because he doesn't have the hardware.
That's Robert Ory, right?
Yeah.
He was on the team, hit a couple threes. Right. Yeah.
They lost quarterback Jameis Winston. He went to the Giants in free agency. And they lost long-time great running back Nick Chubb.
Yes.
Schedule, I mean, their division by itself could be the hardest in the league. So that goes for without saying. Week 2 at Baltimore, week 4 at Detroit, week 6 at Pittsburgh, week 13 hosting the Niners, week 15 at the Bears. Who knows what that game's going to look like at that point. Week 16 hosting the Bills, and week 18 at the Bengals, and that game could be playing for who's saving whose job.
Wow, no Chiefs, no Rams. Okay.
They might have been in there, but I'm trying to give this one a break.
Oh, my God.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, we've talked about this when we did our hot seat coaches. Is there a way he gets saved because the quarterback is such a mess?
No. If things go bad, I think he's done. And he'll get a job in 5 minutes, but I think he's done. And if I were him, I almost hope so. But in a way, from my perspective, I hope he gets fired because then he'll probably get hired by, I don't know, the fucking Miami Dolphins. And
that's one of them, yeah.
You know what I mean? And he'll be much happier. I don't know that there's a more fascinating bad team in the NFL. And for a number of the reasons you've already brought up, the quarterback situation with Dylan Gabriel and Sanders is so interesting to take 2 quarterbacks, 3rd and 5th round, and then yet still have people say if they tank, if they're bad, they'll take Arch Manning next year with the 1st overall pick, which I don't even know if Arch Manning is going to be. It's just people love to talk, right? And I'm like, wow. Could you imagine being such a bad general manager that you would use 2 draft picks to pick 2 quarterbacks only to get rid of them the following year? That's an unbelievable waste of resources. Okay, so that alone is fascinating to me.
Do you believe any of the Nick Saban shit?
I don't. I don't because I don't think. Why would Nick Saban want that job? If Nick Saban wanted to coach,
because he coached there 40 years ago, that doesn't make any sense.
But Nick Saban wasn't Nick Saban 40 years ago. You know, if Nick Saban really wanted to coach, he could get any job he wants, and I mean college or pro. By the way,
I don't know if that's true.
I do. I believe that. Let's say that Miami.
College might be a bad
example.
College, I would. Yeah, I don't think we're going back down that road. I think college, yes. Pro, no.
I think so. I don't think. I'm trying to think of who could be.
You're going to fire fucking Andy Reid for Nick Saban?
Well, Andy Reid is a bad example because Andy Reid's not going anywhere. But if you wanted to say like,
you said any job he wants. I mean, you got to be more.
I'm just saying that job's not coming open.
That's fair.
Any job that comes open,
Colts,
I mean,
Cardinals,
like, so
Dolphins,
if the Colts, Cardinals, Dolphins is not going to happen because that's who we walked away from the first time. But
Giants,
that's fascinating because I don't know that Nick Saban wants to work in a cold area, but he probably wouldn't mind working in the New York metropolitan area. So that'd be interesting.
He's what, 73?
Yeah, but if you looked at him, what would you think he was?
65.
Low 60s is to me that's to me his.
I mean, he's
physical age.
Pete Carroll's out there fucking running routes still.
Again, I'm with you on that. You know, Pete Carroll, like the funny thing is Belichick looks the oldest, and he's the one that went back to college, which is interesting to me. Anyway, that whole quarterback situation is fascinating to me, and we kind of chuckle when we hear Joe Flacco. But if you remember 2 years ago when Joe Flacco was on this team and stepped in for Deshaun Watson at the time. He went buck wild and took them to the playoffs. They were one of the best teams in the NFL. In fact, we were shocked that they lost, I think, to Houston Texans that year, right? That was a C.J. Stroud rookie year. So Joe Flacco's done it before in this system. He's familiar with it, so he's not that new to him. So that side of it is so interesting to me. You know,
I don't think lightning strikes twice there.
He didn't do bad with the Colts last year either.
He didn't do great though. I think
he didn't do great. There were a lot of mistakes. And look, Joe Flacco will chuck and duck a little bit. He'll let it rip, and if it gets picked off, so what? Like I've seen that before. Again, I'm not saying he's taken him to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying he's done well here before. That's all. So, but they're bad, and this is where I look and I say they made a big mistake. And this is where I'd rather see the GM get fired because they should have traded the D end. Who am I
Garrett?
They traded Myles Garrett. They should have traded him because you're a bad team with a $40 million a year defensive end. Who gives a fuck? Like you're paying a guy to win 4 games, 5 games, 6 games. Yeah, makes no sense. By the time you're good, he's gone. He's outlived his contract, and you're trying to sell him off when he's pricey. Yep. You could have sold him off when he was inexpensive and gotten a shit ton of picks and not wasted 2 picks on 2 probably backup quarterbacks. So to me, it's the GM that's more the problem than Stefanski, and perhaps the owner as well. Maybe the owner told him we can't get rid of this guy. He's the only marketable player we have on the team. Who knows? But they're not going to be good. No, they're not going to be good. Their ceiling to me is probably 8 games.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
Somewhere 8 or 9. You know, if things go wildly good, because like you said, there's some talent on that defensive side of the ball. So if they're keeping teams from scoring and Joe Flacco just happens to have a game where he throws 2 touchdowns, or maybe that offensive line is still decent, not great, but decent. It was one of the top 3 about 2 years ago. Now, what if it's top 10? You know, what if it's 10th? They'll be able to run the ball a little bit and maybe protect Joe Flacco, and we'll see. But I don't see them winning more than 8 or 9 games, and probably more like 4 or 5.
Oh, wow.
With that said, now, to me, Stefanski would be a hot commodity if he were to lose his job. I really believe that. I think a lot of teams.
I got to tell you, I like your idea in Miami.
I think it's a beautiful fit. Plus, at that point, Tua will be closer to the end of his contract. I wouldn't be afraid to draft a quarterback and, you know, let Tua play another year and then move on from him or something like that. It's almost like a great situation.
Yeah.
So that would be a good fit for him. Anyway, I could see that happening.
Colts, indoors.
Yeah. Another bad quarterback situation, though. I don't know.
Anyway, let's stay in the shitty state of Ohio, and let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals.
That was Scotty saying that, folks.
Yeah, I don't care. That was me.
Yeah, send your hate mail to him. I think it's more about Ohio State than it is about any of the NFL teams, for 100%,
sure. But their cities are in Ohio, so.
Yeah.
Excuse me as I take a sip of my nice cold beverage. The Cincinnati Bengals are a team we have talked about loud noise all off season.
Yep. Still.
Oh boy. Drafted defensive end Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M with the first pick at 17.
Such a strange pick, by the way.
Just strange pick. He just walked into camp the other day. He looks lost. What do you expect? They added running back Sharon Pirine, whatever his name is. He was a Bengal and then a Bronco, didn't do shit, and then went back to the Bengals. Elephant in the room. No, let's do loss first. They lost offensive tackle Trent Brown and defensive end Sam Hubbard retired, which I thought was also strange. So now the other defensive end, Mr. Hendrickson.
Showed up at camp.
So everything that he was talking about all offseason, he just kind of just shit on himself with, because it's hard to make a point when you're at camp and you're practicing. So for the people who don't know, he's making about $16 million a year, and all the top rush ends are making 35 plus, right? 30 plus, something like that. Is that sound about right?
Is this his last year or 2 years left?
This is finally his last year. So they reworked his contract last year to get him a little bit more money for last year. He led the league in sacks, so he has
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, he has an argument. However, if you're negotiating for the Bengals, you can make an argument that, great, you led the league in sacks and we had the worst defense in the league.
Right.
So it's tough for him to have a leg.
And then he would turn around and say, obviously not my fault.
Right. Yeah, you can go back and forth all day.
As Joe Burrow would say, us being
not my fault either.
Not my fault. I threw 40-something touchdowns and only 10 interceptions or whatever.
The problem that he has, I believe he's 29. Yeah. So this is listen, he's there. God forbid he gets hurt. No one wants that. No one wants to see that anyway, but now with big money maybe on the table. The Bengals are a fucking enigma. You said that the Browns are like a fun team, like a bad team to watch.
Interesting.
I think the Bengals are going to be maybe identical to last year. They didn't make many upgrades on defense anyway. They actually lost a couple of guys.
But they also got a couple guys back off of injury. So part of the problem with last year that people didn't like to talk about, which I don't understand why, but part of it was they lost a lot of guys to injury, which is interesting because we had no problem giving Detroit Lions the excuse of losing 13 starters. That's right. I said that, folks. 13 starters. That means backups who became starters also got hurt. We gave them the excuse, but we didn't offer the same thing for Cincinnati, whatever. But they have some of those guys back. But I don't know, man. When you're averaging giving up like over 30 points a game, they set a record for like scoring 30 and losing, scoring 35 and losing, scoring 38 and losing. Like in the history of the NFL, no team has lost more games having scored more points. So I don't care how many guys you get back there still. Now, they do have a new D coordinator this year, so maybe that'll help. And they do have some guys coming back from injury, and Hendrickson did come back. So maybe it'll be a little better. But their real problem here is that they have $120 million tied up or $115 million tied up into three guys, all on the offensive side of the ball. How do you pay Trey Hendrickson even $30 million a year when you just don't have enough money to pay 53 guys? You stubbed your toe on that one, and I get it because Joe Burrow, put the pressure on them to sign both of his big time wide receivers. You should have just said, "Sorry, Joe, pick one." Like, which one would you rather have? We can have one because we have other guys and, frankly, other studs that we'd like to keep on this team.
Schedule is brutal. Week 3 at the Vikings, week 4 at the Broncos, week 5 hosting the Lions, week 6 at the Packers. Fucking, that's a month right there for you. Week 11 at the Steelers, week 13 at the Ravens, and week 14 at the Bills. Dude, that is a tough schedule for sure. And part of that tough schedule just because the other teams in their division, meaning the Steelers and Ravens are tough. The other interesting thing with Hendrickson is like you can say, well, and I would have advised this last year, but maybe not this year. Don't sign the contract, play it out, and become a free agent. Problem is, they will have their franchise tag back
so they can franchise tag him for one more year. Now, the good side of getting your franchise tag is that you get paid top 3, the average of the top 3 or top 5 players at your position, which is fantastic. The problem is it's a 1-year deal, and God forbid you get hurt, there's no security involved in that. But like, this is the exact kind of thing that like Kirk Cousins did when he was with the Redskins and then with the Vikings. It was like, you play out your contract and let them try to tag you. And then if they try to tag you a second time, it's like the number goes up exponentially, like out of control. They can't do it a second time. But to your point, well, number one, they'll have the franchise tag available to use that if they want to. And number two, he's not the youngest player at the position. Right. He's getting older. And how many more of those productive years, and how are you going to get that contract? That's the thing. Like, can you get yourself at 30 or 31, can you get yourself a 3-year contract? I don't know. It's just a real tough question. Is he going to go out and get 18 sacks this year? Like, part of me just says, dude, go out there, ball out, fucking go bananas and get 18 to 20 sacks and put the screws to them and say, hey, franchise tag me, no problem. You'll have to pay me probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 35, 37 million because you're the average of the top 3, 5. And then they'll have to let you go. So, the NFL is set up for the teams. The teams have the advantage. And this is why, like, you'll hear guys like Chris Canty say, when players have a chance to get their money, when a player can hold out for more money, they have to do it. And I don't like it. Fans don't like it. But it's the only leverage that players have. So I get it. It just sucks. What do I always say on this podcast? Owners don't pay players, fans pay players. The salary of these players comes from fans, from merchandise, from ticket sales, from booze, from TV. It's from fans because the owners make money and the players make money. The only person in this deal losing money is the fan. And we just hate when the players aren't on the field. Yeah. That's not the product we want to see. And we blame the player because you're the one that's not there. And to the fans, how do I say this? To the fans, for the fans' perspective, it's not like he's making $50,000 a year like a U.S. Postal Service worker. Like, I have a hard time, and most fans have a hard time saying, oh, this poor guy, he's only making $17 million this year. $1 million per sack. Like, but if he gets hurt, he retires with like $50 million. What are you talking about? Where am I supposed to feel bad? Like, I'm a teacher who works in the summer cleaning pools.
Right.
I have a hard time with sympathy for a guy playing football, which I used to play, making $17 million. And so do most people. The accountant doesn't want to hear that. The garbage man doesn't want to hear that. The construction worker just doesn't want to hear that. Yeah, most of us, I'm sure you feel the same way, to a certain degree, feel lucky that we have a good job, a steady job that we've had, that we've been able to hold on to, that puts food on a table, pays for the home. It's hard to feel bad for a guy who's only making $17 million a year. So this is why the players in the fans' eyes always lose this argument. But I understand where they're coming from.
What do you think, Shamar Stewart? You think he makes an impact here?
We've seen this story. I have no idea. First of all, statistically speaking, he wasn't shit in college.
I know.
This pick, regardless whether it was Cincinnati, it would have been somebody else if it wasn't Cincinnati. It was all based on potential, arm length, body type, speed, strength, blah, blah, blah. There's no evidence of him being a phenomenal standout player that you'll have in your organization for the next decade. And I just look and I say, what are you guys doing? And by the way, did you not interview the guy and have an idea that this is the kind of thing that could happen? With him holding out, and just, he's a weird character already, man. Like, I'm looking at him like, oh, if I'm the ownership or if I'm the GM, I'm like, how do I fucking get rid of this guy? Can I trade him now? Like, I'd want him out. Like, cause these things never go well for the player or for the team. So, that's the real ugly one. One way or another, Trey Hendrickson's going to play, and he's going to give you production. How much? Who knows? But now you got this guy who's just off on the wrong foot. You probably going to get shit out of him from his rookie year now. So, that's great, right? Like,
yeah.
And then who knows what kind of weird antics he's going to pull in the future. So, I don't know. I love it.
To the Baltimore Ravens, the division champ from last year. Yeah, we've talked about this 100 times. Them and the Eagles, these fucking guys fall in their lap. 27th pick in the first round, safety from Georgia, Malachi Starks, who's played a lot of winning football.
A lot.
And put him next to Kyle Hamilton, and you have a fucking problem.
It's so funny, right? Because I just wanted to say is we look at there was a time when safeties were really important and teams were drafting them, and then we went away from that. You know who the good teams are because they're the ones who set the trends. It was the Patriots setting trends for a while. Then it was the Rams setting trends for a while. Baltimore's always been setting trends. They've always been going against the grain of what the rest of the league does.
Philly,
Philly, same way. They just go against the grain. And now you look and you say, for the last couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, like safeties aren't important. It's all about corners. Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna go out and get 2 all pro safeties.
Yeah, it's so funny when your team has a good safety. It's amazing how good your defense is.
Yeah, isn't it something how things change?
Yeah.
Like he was almost
a former
centerpiece. Yeah, he was almost a centerpiece of the team of the defense last year. In fact, when they moved him a little bit. That's when and if you remember correctly, they got off to a bad start defensively.
Yeah, they took him out of the nickel spot and they put him back out playing center field, and the fucking defense flipped on its ass.
Everything changed. Yep. It was unbelievable. Everything changed. So now you got 2 of these guys. Hello. I like those teams that don't listen to everybody else.
Agreed.
They make their moves for them. What do we think? Who do we like? Best player available as opposed to necessarily a need. You don't pass up great players, and that's what they did. And you're right. Yeah. It seems every year we do this thing where it's like, how the fuck did the Ravens get this guy?
Kind of like the Yankees,
the best guy.
Yankees copying fucking the goddamn small ball, and their fucking franchise has gotten this shit ever since. I'm over it. No, we're good. No, you're right. You're right.
Clearly over it.
And a possible steal in the second round, a little off the field trouble, defensive pass rusher. Mike Green out of Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy that's going to be a perfect danger there, and he's going to get fucking 60 sacks. I can't wait. It's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In the offseason, they added wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who's probably on the 17T box at this point.
Fair.
Cornerback Chidobe Awuzie. They lost cornerback Brandon Stevens. Not a huge piece of their defense, so they're going to be rock and roll and ready to go in that division. Schedule, obviously playing a tough one with the first place schedule. They are at Buffalo week 1. Love that game. I think that's a Sunday nighter, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Week 3,
it's a primetime game one way or another.
Yeah, somewhere, right? Yep. Week 3 at the hosting the Lions. Week 4 at the Chiefs. Week 15 at the Bengals. Week 17, I love this game too. It was like the one I said the other day with the Eagles or something, who was playing Eagles Dolphins or something like that. Week 17 at the Packers.
Probably an impactful game.
And then week 18 at the Steelers. But that Packers 17 game, you got to think maybe a little Saturday night, Christmas weekend, something juicy like that.
Yeah. And I just think it'll be an impactful game.
Packers maybe in a tie for first with the Lions and the Vikings and who knows. And Lamar Jackson.
That's what it comes down to.
Let's just face it. Pressure galore.
And the regular season, it doesn't even matter. They're going to win at least 10 games. I've literally been saying it on this podcast since I think the first episode ever. You could probably go back and check it. That as long as Lamar Jackson is on this team, you're never going to win less than 10. I just don't know if you're going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's unlikely. But with that said, that's what it comes down to for this team and this organization since he's become the starter. And that is, can Lamar Jackson deliver a Super Bowl? I don't even know if it's about delivering a Super Bowl, but can he get to a Super Bowl? I think, outside of the Buffalo Bills, who went 4 years in a row and lost all 4 years, the idea of getting to the Super Bowl is really the thing, right? Because I don't care who you are. If you can get there, you can win it. You're good enough to win it if you can get there. And what he has shown is that he's a phenomenal, unstoppable force in the regular season and then becomes average at best in the playoffs. He's got a losing record in the playoffs. And what can you say? That's all it comes down to for this organization as long as he's the quarterback of this team. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the GM is. I don't care who the ownership is. I don't care who the rest of the team is, the roster. It doesn't matter. And I don't know that he'll ever win another MVP until he wins or goes to a Super Bowl. Because it's almost at the point now where we're like, who cares? You're all you've shown is to be a regular season MVP. That's as good as you can be. And we'll see if they can turn that around this year. I have my doubts. I just think when you're playing a good team I go back to like the year that the Rams won the Super Bowl. Every playoff game was close. Every playoff game was tough. A couple times they had to come back. Like, it's hard. It's hard for Mahomes, and he's one of the best ever. Like, it's hard. Tom Brady was down 28-3. Like, it's hard. You're playing. There are no easy games in the playoffs. You don't get a week break. You don't get the, hey, we're playing the Browns this week. Hey, we're playing the Cardinals this week. We'll pummel them, and then we'll laugh on the sidelines while we have an IV.
Got our starters out with 2 minutes in the third. Like,
It's every game down to the wire, hard as shit. It's hard. And it comes down to the fact, what do we always say? I've said this a million times. The real test for a quarterback's greatness is how do you perform when you have to throw and the other team knows you have to throw.
Right.
You can't use your legs because it's just not like you have to throw the ball. You're either down by a couple scores with the 5 minutes left, or you're down by 4 with a minute 20. Running's just not enough. You have to throw it, and they know you have to throw it. Can you do it? And there's only a handful of guys that actually have proven to do that. Frankly, Josh Allen is one of them. Even though he hasn't gone to the Super Bowl, it's never been because of him. Many times the Ravens have lost their playoff games because Lamar Jackson wasn't at his best. And that's still what it'll come down to this year. They're going to be very good, folks. Eddie Desane may listen to this at some point. He's going to have a great season. Eddie's going to be thrilled because they're probably going to win somewhere between 10 and 13 games. And that's awesome. Like, for the next 6 months, Eddie's going to be happy. And then something will probably happen and they'll lose to the Chargers, or they'll lose to the Bills, or some other team that we could probably think of at some point. And you'd be like, God damn, again. And I think that's very likely.
Does Derrick Henry have another good year in him?
This is a fascinating question because I would have said last year. I did say last year I thought he was going to rush for something more like 700 or 800. Also, I thought it was because they would have saved him for the playoffs. Meanwhile, he ran his ass off and then they gave him a new contract. So I don't know. I think it's probably bad business to bet against Derrick Henry.
I think at this point, that's probably a good statement.
Yeah, so I won't do that. He's phenomenal, dude. He's phenomenal. And what's also so great about him is he could be quiet for a while and then have just one of those, he just snap off one of those 60-yard runs and you're like, holy shit, where'd that come from?
He's such a fun watch. Yes. Never mind him being a great kid, too. He's on Dan Patrick a lot. Very, very, very good guy.
Very regular guy.
Yep.
Which fun, is hard to believe.
Good, big movie guy, like a regular person in that body. Like, he's a superhero, but he's a regular guy. So when you get the peel the onion back, it's very cool to see stuff like that.
Yes.
But watching him play football, man, it's just fucking fun.
Yeah, because he's an explosion.
Back,
he's an explosion.
He's got people bouncing off of him.
And what's funny about people bouncing off of him is that it's not like it. He doesn't do it in like the Earl Campbell way or the Walter Payton way. It's almost like people come up to him and he just tightens up and they just bounce off him. It's not like he's a heavy lower your shoulder kind of guy like an Earl Campbell or Walter Payton. I don't know, maybe he's going so goddamn fast. Maybe he gets to top speed so fast that you're just going to bounce off this fucking guy because he actually has a somewhat upright running style. But it is amazing. It's amazing. And he hasn't changed. It looks the same. It is the same. And it's as effective as it's ever been. So, yeah, I won't bet against him. I won't bet against them. And I won't bet against Baltimore in the regular season.
No, you can't.
You just can't. You know, I don't know what their over and under is. It's probably something like 10.5 or 11.5, and it's probably going to be somewhere in there.
Yep, I agree with you. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're just.
You know, how much of the not winning in the playoffs do you think falls on Harbaugh? Here's a guy who has a Super Bowl championship. That's why it becomes an interesting question. It's not like, who am I thinking out in San Francisco? Shanahan. Not like Shanahan, who's been there many times and never pulled it off. He's been there with Joe Flacco, by the way, in the division. And so he knows how to do it, but he hasn't in a while. How much of it for you falls on him?
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
I mean, because here's why you made a point before about Lamar. I understand that they want to save his legs and to get him healthy and make him throw the ball more. Great. Week 1 to 17, 18, great. In the playoffs, when you're there, let Lamar be Lamar.
No holds barred.
What are we doing? We don't need to make the perfect throw on 3rd and 6. Let Lamar got him a Heisman Trophy and a couple MVPs. Be Lamar. And I think that starts from the top down. Yeah,
you're right in the sense, like 2 years ago, if you remember in the playoff game that they lost, I think they ran the ball less than 12 times the entire game.
Against the fucking Chiefs at home, right?
Yeah. I think it was less than 12 times or less than 15 times the whole game. They were the number 1 rushing team in the NFL the entire season, and you run the ball less than 15 times in a playoff game against the Chiefs, which is a game where you would want to grind it out, maintain possession, don't let Mahomes get. So it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I just look and I say, he's won a Super Bowl, so it's not like he doesn't know how to do it.
No,
it's not like the pressure gets to him. I do think, to your point, I do think that for the last, I don't know, 2 years, maybe it's 3, but definitely the last 2, it's almost like Baltimore has been on a mission to prove the doubters wrong, as opposed to just going and winning.
Perfectly.
No, he can win from the pocket. Hey, here's an idea. Just go win. You know what matters? It doesn't matter if you win from the pocket. It matters if you win.
Okay. Wide receiver is one of the most drama queen, what's the word I'm looking for? Prima donna position in all of sports, in all of life.
No doubt.
Do you think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith right now give a fuck that Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley got a lot of credit for all the runs and touchdown runs?
You mean the same A.J. Brown that said, when asked what's the problem with the offense, he said passing?
Yep.
And then he win a Super Bowl and nobody cares.
And guess who the first 2 guys were to hug
of course.
The coach's name. What the fuck's his name? I almost said Stefanski
Sirianni.
Sirianni. Yeah.
Mariachi.
The first 2 guys were Smith and Brown.
Of course.
So fuck the way it looks, guys.
Of course. Win. Yeah, the trophy is the elixir for all ills. I don't even care the sport. Unless it's the green jacket, the only thing that's different. The trophy, the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl trophy, like you name it. The Lombardi trophy. It doesn't matter. You get the cup, you get the trophy. Everyone feels better.
We're going to talk about this in about 10 minutes, but I just want to tell you that I'm watching the golf, and they just showed this guy, Patrick Rogers. Mm-hmm. The first 12 holes, red 71st, and the last 2 holes, green 70. On the bottom. It's already started with it. But. All right, let's wrap up the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of our buddies are Steeler fans.
My old lady, my girlfriend, Rosie Rijo, she's a big Steelers fan.
Very nice. I don't know.
Loves what you're about to say, who their new quarterback is.
I'm not sure she loves the term old lady, but we'll pass that one up. Good save. Good save.
She's younger than me, so she's young.
They drafted defensive tackle Derek Harmon out of Oregon in the first round.
Pause for 1 second, because I have to throw this out there. It's about the old lady thing. So we were at her work's Christmas party, and it was at a
banger.
It was unbelievable. Like I was dressed in a suit. Like it was unbelievable. And she took a selfie of us together, and my cousin texts me and goes, "It looks like a college student took her professor to a wedding." So Obviously, I'm the professor in this one. That just goes to tell you she does not look old. So old lady. Yeah.
All right, Teach.
I'm the professor.
Oh my God.
He texted him like you're such.
That's gold. That's gold. That's cousin love right there.
Yeah, sure is.
Third round, they took Caleb Johnson, running back from Iowa. I'm hearing great things out of him. I think he's a good fit there. And he knows he wears the colors well. That's a proven fact.
For sure.
In the fourth round, took defensive end crybaby Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State.
The hatred is real.
Is real. If you need to know what I'm talking about, just Google the planting the flag game, and he was crying his ass off. In the sixth round, I won't give this guy any hate because he's only been there 1 year and he won a championship, so you got to tip your hat to him. Will Howard, big kid out of Kansas State before that. Sixth round, pick 185.
Mm-hmm.
Big kid, good athlete.
Big arm.
You know, Rodgers isn't going to be there forever. Maybe they hit on something there. We'll find out. Rodgers just said some good things about him. Speaking of Rosie, they added quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
She's thrilled.
The saga in New York is over. The 2 years of a black cloud that he brought here and to Pete's life that's carried him for about 40 years.
Made me hate my team.
Oh, yeah, that was
made me leave my team.
They added a slew of players, cornerbacks, Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, wide receiver DK Metcalf, and they traded for tight end Jonnu Smith. They lost running back Najee Harris to the Chargers and cornerback Dante Jackson. Schedule, tough late, again like last year. It looks like identical almost. Week 4, hosting, I think this game is in overseas, if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings. Week 7 at the Bengals. Week 10 at the Chargers. Week 13 hosting the Bills. Week 14 at the Ravens. And Week 16 at the Lions.
And then Week 18 is at with the Ravens also.
Yeah, with the Ravens, right? Yeah. Yes.
Hey, who was the corner they picked up? Jalen
Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. How much do you think he's got in a tank? Now, this is 2 teams that were willing to walk away from him.
Enough with that defense. If they, if Watt and them get home, I think enough to be, because Slay's not young either. Slay's not young.
Correct.
So, and they got Joey Porter, who is young.
It's so funny you say it like with Slay and Ramsey and Rodgers. It's not, but it looks and feels like an all-in season. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
It's like there's a lot there's a lot there that's just this year. Like I think even Aaron Rodgers said, like this is probably it for him. So you look at some of the players that they picked up, and it's like, wow, they're like kind of all in this year. Nobody looks at them as an all in team because all in screams Super Bowl run, and I don't know that that's there.
Pete, do you hear music? Is there music?
I do. Yeah, I have a little background.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right.
I got a little background lo-fi going on.
I thought I was on an elevator.
It's kind of elevator music. It is actually.
All right. I'm like, am I going to voice talking to you again? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, new feature on StreamYard.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's fascinating because I got ripped to shreds for 2 years from Rosie about Aaron Rodgers being with the Jets, and he stinks. And her son, by the way, just the two of them just killing me for 2 years. And it couldn't have gone any better that he ends up with the Steelers, which also means he'll probably have a fantastic season because everyone who stinks for the Jets ends up doing great wherever they go. So I suspect the Steelers will go 12-5, first place in a division, first week bye in the playoffs, and a Super Bowl appearance as Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl and rides off into the sunset to smoke ayahuasca, whatever it's called. So, fascinating. Like this is one of those things because of what I just said. I could see anywhere. I shit you not. I'm not talking about predictions. I'm just seeing wouldn't shock me. Honestly, anything from 5 to 12 wins. That's insane. DK Metcalf is no joke, dude. And now you're going to put DJ Metcalf. I don't care what anybody says. Aaron Rodgers can still sling it. He may not move like he used to. He doesn't want to get hit. But if if you give him a couple seconds and you got DK Metcalf out there, bro, that's fucking dangerous. I don't care who you are. And their defense is their defense. It is what it is. I don't care whether they got old guys, young guys. It doesn't matter. They always have an effective, talented, aggressive defense. So that's what you're going to see. They just signed TJ Watt to like $7 billion. So he's happy. I'm not kidding. It wouldn't shock me if they won 5 or 6 games. I also wouldn't be shocked if they're 12-5 at the end of the season. I honestly mean that. I'd be a little surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. Shocked is like Carolina is 12-5. Are you really that shocked that the Pittsburgh
Cleveland
Steelers
12-5 would shock
Cleveland 12-5? Would you really be that shocked the Steelers, who haven't had a losing season since Mike Tomlin has been there, if they win 3 more games than 500, which is 9-8? It's just 3 more games would be 12 wins. So I'm not saying they're going to do it. It's not a prediction. I'm not making a prediction. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little surprised, but not shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they only won 5. I really wouldn't. If the wheels just fell off this thing, Slay gets hurt, Ramsey gets hurt, Aaron Rodgers is a joke, the offensive line stinks.
Can't run the ball. DK quits. Whatever. Right?
Yeah. And you got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ravens, and look at the schedule that you just put out there that they have to play. Would it shock me if they only won 5 games? No.
Yeah.
I can't say that about any other team in the league, that there's a 7-game gap for me between their floor and their ceiling. I can't say about any other team in the league.
I got 2 off the top of my head. Maybe not 7, but I could see, like, if things break their way one way or the other. Miami.
I can't see that big a gap.
Like I said, and not 7, but I could see
close. Between like 6 and 10.
And for some reason, the Falcons. The Falcons have me so intrigued.
So interesting because
they have me so intrigued.
There's a lot there to like on offense. How about Minnesota?
That's a good one too.
There could be let's be honest, just on talent.
Yep.
They could win 12. If JJ McCarthy is even a shadow of what Sam Darnold was last year, they can win 12.
Yep.
Or they can win 5.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Maybe. So who's the other team you said before Atlanta?
Falcons. Oh, Miami.
Miami's got a pretty wide gap. But
I have another one close to Minnesota. Chicago.
Yeah, but their gap is in a different place. I could see it anywhere from like 4 to 10. I guess that's a 6.
Yeah.
4 to 11. That would make 7.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because of the division.
I don't know what's going on there. Ben's like one day Ben's loses his mind, the next day like it's not great.
Been a rough start. It's been a rough start for Caleb.
Oh,
it's been a rough start. Those are the reports. I don't buy into that. It means nothing right now. It's just a long way to go, but I know it's been a rough start, and fans in Chicago are getting a little antsy.
JJ hasn't played a down of meaningful football yet. Drake May, good. We could see the talent. We don't know if he's going to put it all together.
There's another team that could be quite the gap.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me think about that. Penix, Bo Nix, when it was Jim Daniels, can they all be better than fucking Caleb?
Well, yeah.
Oh my holy shit!
Well, yeah.
Oh my god.
In fact,
4 of them are right now.
Well, I'm looking.
Right.
I'm thinking at this season right now. I think Nix, Penix, and Daniels are probably all going to have a better record than the Bears this year.
You would think. I hope for personal reasons, but
yeah.
Gap wise, one more team for you. AFC, NFC.
What do you mean?
You said one more team. You have a big gap in wins. You said there one more team.
Yeah, I forgot already.
You're kidding me. You.
The bourbon is flowing.
How about?
Well, I said New England. I had said New England. Depending on what you can get from Drake May.
I don't think the talent's there yet, roster wise.
You're probably right.
How about the Cardinals?
I don't think the gap is that big.
I don't think so either.
But there's a gap, and we've talked about this. We talked about Kyler Murray. The gap is, and I saw this on TV just the other day. And you know who was talking about him? Greg Cosell. Bro, I don't know what I'm getting from week to week. Yeah. 1 week, I'm literally getting the best looking quarterback in the NFL. He looks like Lamar Jackson, but throws better than him. Then the next week, I get 7 for 23 for 120 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah. One brought back for a touchdown. Yeah,
inconsistency.
It's crazy. I know.
Yeah. So to me, the gap isn't big enough because I kind of know who he is. He's just inconsistent. The problem with the Steelers, and let's just go back to the Steelers with this one. Here, I'll tell you why it could be 12. He's 2 years off of the Achilles now.
Yep.
He's in a solid organization. Say what you want about how they haven't won a playoff game in a while. I get that. But this is a solid organization that never has a losing season. Like the Jets haven't had as many wins in a season in the last 12 years that the Steelers have had every year. Like they've never had, you know what I'm saying? Like even as mediocre as they've been, they've never had fewer wins than the Jets. So he's in a solid organization with a DK Metcalf, with a head coach that knows how to win, an organization who knows how to win, and a pretty solid team. I have questions about the offensive line, but a pretty solid team around him. And 2 years off the Achilles now. Not 1 year where he's a little nervous, a little tenuous. No, I'm sure he feels good now. I'm sure the Achilles part of it is out of his head. It wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be shocked if an all-time quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best throwers of football all time, ends up winning 12 games. That's why I say it. Again, it's not a prediction. I'm just saying it's possible. Don't be surprised if you see it.
Speaking of predictions, let's do our order finish in the division. I'll save you some time here. We both have Cleveland in 4th place?
Correct.
Okay. In 3rd place for me, I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
I think
it comes down to their defense.
I think the defense is going to be exactly the same. New defensive coordinator, Mr. Al Golden from Notre Dame, I believe, is the new defensive coordinator. I know
That's
they get
not nothing.
They get some help back in the defensive backfield. Your best player's unhappy on defense. It's going to be the Bengals. Mark my words, folks. The Bengals are going to play Big 12 football games. The old Big 12 with Texas Tech and Oklahoma and all that shit.
Let me ask you something. What's more frustrating to a fan? Putting up 35 points and losing, or giving up 16 points and losing?
Yes.
Or giving up 13 points and losing.
Both suck.
Yeah. I think putting points on the board and losing is more frustrating.
But here's
or disappointing.
At least you're entertained for fucking 3 hours.
True. That's true.
And you're always in it. You're like, all right, one stop, boys. One stop, boy. Like,
can't get that stop.
Can't get the stop. Can't get the stop.
So that's why my 3rd place team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. After all the talk of them possibly winning 12 games, I actually don't think it's going to happen.
A Pete special right there, folks.
Yeah, I think it'll be more like 7. I think you're probably talking about Mike Tomlin's first losing season, somewhere in the range of 7-8 wins. 9 wouldn't shock me. And again, 12 wouldn't shock me. But I just think there's issues there. And what it comes down to, for the question I have is, can that offensive line, which is not very good, protect a quarterback who's going into his 42-year-old season?
Yeah.
And they haven't in the past few years. I wanted to bring up one more thing about Pittsburgh. I totally forgot. Do you not get any Ben Roethlisberger feel with the Will Howard thing? He's everything Ben Roethlisberger was.
I see what you're saying. I don't like. No.
I just think that's your Ohio State bias coming through. And I just think it's good for him to sit behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers, pick his brain. He's obviously a smart kid. Pick his brain for a year. 6'4", 235 with a big arm and athletic doesn't come around very often. I just think there's potential to develop that into something fun and interesting. We'll see. He's got Ben Roethlisberger written all over him for all the reasons I just said. Now he wasn't the college player that Ben Roethlisberger was, but there's got to be something to be said about the way he played in those playoffs last year for Ohio State. He's a big reason they won. He's a big reason that they won. So, but my 3rd place team is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My 2nd place team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. At some point, history repeats itself. and Mike Tomlin is never had a losing record.
Yeah.
And with the Bengals as bad as they are on defense, I think Pittsburgh just does enough to finish in second. Now, I'm not saying it could be a game. It could be 8-9, 9-8. It could be very, very close.
Coin toss between those two.
Yeah, 10-7, 7-10, whatever it is.
Fair, totally fair.
10-7, 8-9, 9-8. But listen, I agree with you with Rodgers. I think he's going to look good just because to stick it in your ass, and not you, just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes.
I don't think it's even the Jets. I think it's more the media. I think it's more the media saying he's done, he's washed up. Last 2 full seasons he played, and that includes the last year at Green Bay, were not great. Missed the playoffs, lost basically a play-in game against the Detroit Lions, who at that point had nothing to play for that year. This is 3 years ago, technically. So he hasn't looked great in his last 2 full seasons as a starter in the NFL.
Last year, back half, stats look good. Him and Devontae Adams were lighting it up a little bit.
And so he did with Garrett Wilson, too. Garrett Wilson put monster numbers up, yeah.
So I think I like that. I like the new running back they got. Offensive line's improved. They got Watt paid and happy. Hayward's on the last swan song for him.
Yep.
They got some pieces on the defensive back. I just think it's there for them to finish in second place. Again, I'm not saying they're going to go to the AFC Championship game or anything like that. I just think they finished in second place.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you this, seriously.
Yep.
If they do make the playoffs, do you think at that point having an Aaron Rodgers is an advantage?
I think, I mean, you got to say yes, because let's say they got to go to Arrowhead and play, a 3-6 matchup there or whatever it is. I mean,
yeah, that's
a guy that's been, hosting games at Lambeau Field, around the San Francisco, at whatever. Like, dude.
Yeah, that I guess that's where I'm going with this. Like, also, even though I haven't,
especially it'll help them with the Raven games too down the stretch. Like, you have an adult in the room, and
if things do go well, if there's an argument to be made that it's more likely that things go wrong because of the age of a number of the players on a team. But if things just, with the Rams, the year they won the Super Bowl, where we were like, dude, it's very thin, they're very top heavy, but everything went right. The right guys didn't get hurt. If everything goes right for the Steelers, they could be very dangerous, because it'll also mean, you have to put it in context. At that point, they'll have played 17 games. Aaron Rodgers, they're in the playoffs, so Aaron Rodgers feels good.
Yeah.
Mentally feels good. Like, hey, man, at that point, he's like, this is one last trip for me, man. Let's fucking go. LFG.
You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then, listen, you give it all you got.
I just think then they could become dangerous. Yeah. Again, not a prediction. I'm just saying if it comes to that, be careful because I'll put it this way, desperate motherfuckers are dangerous, man. Like, they really are. They just really are in all walks of life, not just football. So, and then, of course, for me, number 1, I got Baltimore.
Well, how about you? Bengals are 2 for you, obviously.
Yeah, Bengals are 2 for me. And, like you're saying, and like we've said about other teams, it's a coin toss between them and Pittsburgh, I think. I have to believe that defense is going to be better for Cincinnati. I think Al Golden being there is underrated. I think he's pretty goddamn good on the defensive side of the ball. If you take him back to Temple, go to the U when he was there as their head coach. They didn't do great, but they always had good defenses. And then what he did with Notre Dame, good defense, hung in there against one of the best teams in the country. Like, good team, good guy, good coach. That defense should be improved. How much does it have? The question becomes, how much does it have to be improved for them to win more games? Because that offense should be fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, it just should. They should average 30 points a game. So that's why I got them in second. I think there's enough improvement there to get them to second place. Yeah,
and I'm with you with the Ravens in first place. We've seen it. We've seen it, never been on the Ravens regular season. We've said it to the cows come home. Lamar regular season. Let's hope he keeps improving in the passing game. They got more weapons out there for him. Derrick Henry obviously doesn't age. It's incredible. And they got a Hall of Fame coach. So anything you want to add to that?
I don't know. I think that's it. Yeah.
All right, buddy. We have some golf on to TV.
Yeah. So, the Wyndham Invitational, what the fuck is it even called? Wyndham Championship. Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure people are saying, Pete, what the fuck are you talking about the Wyndham Championship for? Nobody cares. It's a nothing tournament. The leader right now is
shit.
Day 1 is -9, so we're looking at another one like last week where the winner is probably
under. Yeah,
Kitayama went bananas last week. He was throwing darts. Holy shit! But But why this is so fun and why I think golf fans should tune in, even though it's just the Wyndham Championship, is because this is the last tournament before the FedEx Cup. And only the top 70 guys make it to the FedEx Cup Championship, which is what, three tournaments?
3 tournaments, sir.
3 tournaments. So
they start at 70.
The top 70 make the first 70, weekend.
Yep. Then they whittle it down to 50.
Then a 50, and then a 30.
30. And then that third, and then that weekend is fantastic.
So the only way to make it to play next weekend is if you're in the top 70. Now, what you'll watch this tournament and be like, none of the big names are there. You're right. So if you're looking for the Scotty Schefflers and all the big names, you're not going to find those. Yeah, you're not going to find those guys here because they're already in the top 30, well into so you're not going to find those guys. But what is so cool about this one is that all week, and Scotty just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, he's watching as we're talking, and you got guys that are right on the cut line, right on that 70, 71. So every player that's in this tournament, I'll say basically starting from Thursday, I would say from 50 to 90, those are the guys that you really want to pay attention to. Not so much the leaderboard, but where are these guys in relation to making the top 70?
Just saw a young man teed off at 99. He's on the 16th hole, and he made it to 82.
Just on one hole.
Do the whole
through the round. Yeah, I got you.
The round. So he's creeping. So one day he's creeping. 17 spots. Yeah, it's fucking great, man.
And what'll be so cool is on Sunday, you'll have a random player on hole 17 who's in 18th place. It matters nothing to the tournament, but he'll make a putt and the crowd will go bananas because he made it to spot 69 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, can this guy, will he be part of FedEx Cup? So it's so unique in that way that it's not about winning this tournament. It's about making it to the FedEx Cup Championship. And that'll be, it's interesting even today, but Saturday and Sunday, watching that 70 marker, who's there, who's right around there, and how are they playing? You'll see a guy who's in 69th and he puts one in the woods and you're like, oh fuck, he just fucked himself. Like he just screwed it. And it's just so fun to watch from that perspective. And that's what just makes it so unique, as compared to other tournaments where you really keep an eye mostly on the leaderboard.
Beautiful golf course.
Gorgeous. I know this, man.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Obviously it's very scoreable, but it's just very pretty, and it's going to be a fun weekend.
Damon's in first at -9. He shot a 61 today. Hello.
Yep.
And these guys are all just looking for their spot in that top 70. So, and not just the top 70. If you're at 65, you want to get to 50 or 44.
You want to improve yourself. You don't
right. So that next weekend you make the top 50. So because those numbers continue as the weekend continues.
Yeah.
So it'll just be fun. And I'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. But it's not the only thing I'll be watching this weekend. What about you? What are you watching this weekend?
Well, we have trivia first.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. You're right. Fuck. I was trying to skip it because I had such a good week last week. I wanted to just leave it at that.
You got so caught up in Aaron Rodgers, you got all fucking brain fart on me here. Let's ready?
Go. What do you got?
All right, bud. Who is the leader?
Music's already playing, so let's go.
Who is the all-time leader in receiving yards at Michigan? Amani Toomer, Anthony Carter, Braylon Edwards, Jeremy Gallon.
Who's Jeremy Gallon? Why don't smile at me, you fucking Joker look.
Jeremy Gallon played with the bad Michigan teams with Brady Hoke and Rich Rodriguez.
Oh, but they threw the shit out of the ball.
They did.
It was Joe Jackson or whatever.
Because they're fucking they had a Cincinnati Bengal defense.
Rich Rod was a maniac. Wait, who was the list again?
Amani Tuma, Anthony Carter, Braylon Edwards, and Jeremy Gallon.
I want to. Amani Toomer. Who was the second one? Anthony Carter. Yeah. And then Braylon Edwards.
Yeah.
I really want to say Braylon Edwards, but I think it's Amani Toomer, which means it's probably Anthony Carter. All right, first instinct. I'll go with Braylon Edwards.
The hot streak continues as he is.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I got a little tingly.
So Braylon had a big gap there from first to second.
Who was second?
Jeremy Gallen was second.
No, I thought that was funky because those were the Chuckin' and Duck years.
Carter was third and Toomer was fourth.
Okay. Wow, Toomer was fourth. No shit.
Peter,
Anthony, he was a good receiver.
Yeah, it sucks his pro career didn't fucking really do much, but
why was that? Was it injuries or?
I think he got in trouble. I think he had maybe an alcohol problem at some point, and then I think it kind of like
nothing wrong with a little booze now and then.
If you make sure you go to work,
I guess it was a problem. Problem is the part of the alcohol.
Yeah, problem is the problem, as they say. Peter, who's the leading receiver all time receiving touchdowns at Georgia?
Oh.
Terrence Edwards, AJ Green, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey.
Wow, what's his name isn't even in there. There's a guy I was thinking wasn't even in there.
Hines Ward?
No, maybe he didn't go to Georgia.
Who's the guy?
Julio Jones. He went to Alabama.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. He played professionally in Georgia, though. I think that's why I'm...
Okay, I'll give you that. Saved by a little bit of brain cell there.
Give it to me again.
Terrence Edwards, AJ Green, Brock Bowers, or Ladd McConkey?
Man, I really want to say Brock Bowers. AJ Green was a friggin' beast in college, but those were the years that Georgia wasn't quite up to the level yet. One more time, give me the list.
Terrence Edwards, AJ Green, Brock Bowers, or Ladd McConkey?
Who's Terrence Edwards? Terrence Edwards?
Wide receiver at Georgia?
I know. I'm saying like when? Like when was his era?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't study.
A while ago?
I think so, yeah.
You know,
these fucking calls.
There's something about Brock Bowers that just keeps sticking in my head. I'm going to say Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is second.
Oh! Don't say Ladd McConkey.
Terrence Edwards.
Terrence Edwards. Okay. I don't know him well enough.
I don't know. I don't remember where you played, what years. I want to say probably early 2000s.
Okay.
And the quarterback back then was probably that guy David Green or whatever. Like
there was another guy that was a really good quarterback for
Quincy Carter. Maybe was Quincy Carter quarterback back then?
Then there was another quarterback. I can't remember his name.
Before Stafford?
Cleveland Browns.
Eric Zier?
Nope. Oh, no.
Kelly Holcomb? No.
He was a little undersized, but he put up monster numbers at Georgia. He was one of the first guys that decided not to participate in the combine. Like it was like sacrilege to not participate in the combines, no matter how good you are. And he was like,
"What were we thinking? 90s?
Yeah. What'd you say, Eric Zier?
Eric Zier, yeah.
I don't think that's him, but that name rings a bell.
Because he went to the Browns, I believe.
I have to look it up. Yeah, this guy definitely went to the Browns. Didn't do great. So,
all right. Well, let's see if you could salvage a 2-3.
All right. We're 1-1 right now. Let's go.
Who is the leading rusher all time in touchdowns at LSU?
Most touchdowns at LSU.
Rushing
touchdowns at LSU.
Jaden Daniels.
Holy shit. That's a wild card.
Leonard Fournette. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Kevin Folk.
Oh, my God. What a list. 3 unbelievable running backs and a quarterback. Hello. Can't be Jaden Daniels. There's no fucking way.
Hello.
Although he had one of the sickest games I've ever seen in my life. It might have been against Mississippi. It might have been against Alabama. It was at home. He threw for 400 and ran for 300 and like 3 times. It was insane. That was his last year there. I don't remember when he played crazy. Oh, I really want to say Leonard Fournette. Edwards-Helaire was fucking explosive. Wow. Damn. What are the names again? Jane Daniels, Edwards-Helaire, Leonard Fournette, and who's the other one?
Kevin Folk.
Folk was so good too. Oh my God. Wow, this is a hard one. I gotta
Thanks for noticing.
Leonard Fournette was so good for 2 years, man. He was an unstoppable machine. He was like, Adrian Peterson. Like, he reminded me in college of Adrian Peterson.
Absolutely agree with that.
Had the speed, but also would just rock the shit out of you.
Him and McCaffrey were the guys that started sitting at the bowl games for
for
the crappy bowls and stuff.
Yeah. Fuck. I'll stick with Fournette. I'll go with Leonard Fournette.
I understand why he did it, but he is not the correct Falk.
No, yeah. Wow, what a list though.
Yeah.
Wow, I tell you what, man. Has LSU?
Yeah.
Do you know that Chip Kelly at this point is the only
Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly, that's what I mean. Brian Kelly is the only coach. Now, he's only been there for 3 years, but the last 3 or 4 coaches that have been the LSU head coach have all won a national championship in their first 3 years. He's the only one that hasn't. LSU puts players out there, man.
I know.
You know what's funny? You can argue that LSU puts more talent on the field than any other team in the country. Maybe Ohio State's the only other one. I know everybody wants to say Alabama during Nick Saban years, and that's fair. But, man, does LSU put stars on the field, man.
So I feel like everybody has
at every position.
I feel like everyone has their, when Pete Carroll, USC was doing it.
Loaded.
The last 10 years with Harbaugh, Michigan's been doing it. Ohio State, like you said, Notre Dame had a run. Miami had a run. But
Alabama certainly did.
Georgia now too.
But if you go historically,
consistently,
historically, the two teams that put talent on the field are Ohio State and LSU, regardless of coach. I'm going to say regardless of coach.
I was going to say something mean, but I've done enough today, so I'm going to.
I am just trying to stay unbiased here. Regardless of coach.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
They haven't always won as much as maybe that's a knock on the coaches they've had, because if that is true, if I'm right, if you agree with me, then you'd also have to say then they haven't won as much as they should have, because Alabama's won more than them. Michigan has been just rocking Ohio State recently. Georgia took over for a little while.
Florida had a string there.
Florida had a stretch.
Yeah.
But all those other teams, including Alabama, even before Nick Saban got there, Alabama was bad. That's why Nick Saban got the job. He was able to leave Miami, just take over. And I remember when he took over, people were like, Alabama's never going to be what they once were. Wrong. But has there been a more consistent talent portal than LSU? Hard. And at every position.
Yep.
You could look at Ohio State. I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent here, but you can look at Ohio State and say it's mostly been wide receivers, offensive line, some defensive
pass
tackles,
rush, some pass rush. You right?
Some
Bosa,
but mainly it's been wide receiver. And some running backs too.
Definitely.
And with Alabama, we can point to defensive ends, offensive line, wide receiver. LSU, it's been everywhere. Corners, safeties, quarterbacks, linebackers, offensive line.
The list we just
everywhere.
had running.
Everywhere. Everywhere they have been talented. Man, there's an argument to be made that LSU has put more talent on the field in their history than maybe any other team in the country. It's wild. Anyway, what are we watching this weekend, buddy?
Some golf.
For sure. It's going to be so fun.
Some Yankee baseball. Saturday is the Hamiltonian. It's famous harness race in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. I will be attending
Saturday afternoon.
I will be attending that noon start.
So much fun.
Weather's supposed to be great. 82, dude. I've
nice, not too
99.
Hot. Yep.
Jesus Christ. So,
you can't even breathe, man. I was out there today working. You can't even breathe. Jesus, you take more than 20 steps, and you're like,
yeah.
You just can't get it in. It's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll be watching SmackDown tomorrow night, and it should be a big weekend for the WWE because especially if you're in North Jersey or the New York metropolitan area, SummerSlam is this weekend. It's the first time that it's 2 nights, so you'll have both Saturday and Sunday. And I just wanted to throw out there some interesting matches that'll take place. So on Saturday, what we're looking at, let me get back to this. If you are interested in the, if you like those where celebrities join in, there's should be, I don't know, fun, funny, interesting. Randy Orton is teaming up with, hold on to your seats, Jelly Roll to face Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And now if you're thinking, I know some people are like, oh, Jesus, this Jelly Roll is just a big fat guy. I've read reports So the power plant for the WWE is down in Orlando. This is where they train all their really young wrestlers. I've read reports that Jelly Roll has been spending 3 hours a day because he does not, number one, he doesn't want to embarrass himself.
Yep.
And number two, he wants to put on a show for WWE fans. And the only way to do that is to actually be somewhat viable.
I love Jelly Roll.
Oh, he's
fantastic.
It's the greatest story. He is, I don't know who he was back in the day, but he seems like the nicest fucking guy in the world now, and so likable. He did some things a couple nights ago that you're like, okay, like there was some mic work, and then they brawled out, and he put some moves on some guy, and I'm like, okay, he really did put the work in. Like, good for him. So that should be fun. I'm trying to see what else is going on here. CM Punk and Gunther should be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking at what people will like to watch. Then on night 2, of course, the big names, which will be in the main event, will be John Cena and Cody Rhodes. This will be a rematch from WrestleMania. Not too sure how that's going to go. It'll be a street fight, so that'll be fun. No holds barred and all that kind of stuff. But I'll give you a match that I think could be a lot of fun, very interesting. And if you like the ultra-violent stuff, you might see some blood in this one. The new up-and-coming name in wrestling is Jacob Fatu. He has skyrocketed in a year. It's been a year, and people just love him. He's in a cage match against his cousin, Solo Sikoa. I have a feeling that could be a very underrated but super entertaining match. You might get some blood. You'll definitely get like some cool stuff, some fun moves and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a fun weekend. I'll definitely be watching that. My kids will be watching that. So that's it. But for sure during the day, I'm watching the golf.
Yeah.
I'm watching golf. I just think it's so unique that we're not so concerned about who's winning the tournament as we are about who's making. You know what it almost reminds me of? It reminds me of a little bit of like March Madness. The week before the tournament starts, like when the conference tournaments are coming in, like who's going to make it, and like, can you be like a 500 team but make a run to your conference championship and win it? And you wouldn't have been in the tournament, but now you are because you won your conference.
Like fucking Northwestern won the Big Ten tournament. They got an automatic bid. They knocked someone off the bubble. Like
exactly. Yep. So like, you know, and what guys do we know that are on the bubble of 70 that get knocked out and like, oh shit, you know? So that'll be a lot of fun too. But I'll be busy with both of those things this week.
Attaboy.
For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Football tonight. We're back, baby.
Let's go.
Later.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right. I should have this out. No problem tonight. Got a new